If Roe is overturned, abortions would be illegal in Wisconsin, leaving the issue to state lawmakers. An 1849 law bans doctors from performing abortions unless the mother's life is at risk. Republican State Representative Barbara Dittrich has authored several bills in recent years that would place more restrictions on abortions. Governor Evers has vetoed these bills. Representative, good to see you. Welcome to UpFront.
Thanks for having me.
Let's begin. If this draft opinion is upheld, are you comfortable with Wisconsin's law as it would be applied?
Well, let me start out, Matt, by saying, first of all, I think one thing we've learned over the years about the abortion issue is that we're catching women in probably one of the most terrified parts of their life, an unexpected pregnancy. So I think compassion is due. I think what will need to come to the table if this opinion comes down in the same manner it was leaked, is that we'll all have to come to the table and figure things out together, both legislatively and working with the executive branch.
I was going to say, broadly speaking, at this point, what do you anticipate state Republicans, or at least Assembly Republicans, will do if Roe is overturned?
I would not even hazard to guess that because, as you may know, I was a co-sponsor of the bill that would allow pharmacists to prescribe birth control to women, to make it even more convenient for women. One thing that I find really disturbing is that with the wide availability of birth control, you know, why are we still experiencing the level of abortion we are when pregnancy, you know, can be prevented? We couldn't even get that through the Senate.
State lawmakers are going to receive an incredible amount of pressure from all sides of this if Roe is overturned. Some Republicans have told me this past week that they're open to conversations about adding exceptions to the current law, whether it be rape or incest. Do you support that?
Well, as you know, the bills I have authored in the past have made exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. And that is because that's where we can seem to build consensus and get things over the finish line.
Yeah, I was going to say, on the flip side of that, some Republican candidates for governor have said they'd like to see no exceptions, and that would potentially remove the exception for a mother's life at risk. Do you support that, or where does that conversation go at this point?
That's an interesting question, because I think we have to be careful in this regard. Some of these procedures, if you look at one of the procedures that's used for abortion is a DNC. That's also a medical procedure that's not necessarily used to abort a baby. And so we have to be really careful with our language and what we're doing so that we're not criminalizing doctors that are actually performing valid health care. So we have to decide what we're going to do with this next. Are we going to allow the law that was established in Wisconsin in 1849 to stand, or are we going to modify that? So those are the discussions that I think will be had.
A debate that's likely to intensify over the coming weeks at the state level. Representative Barbara Dittrich, Representative, thank you.
You are most welcome.